This is a Boss Katana. This is a cat. This is and the Boss Katana has a foot switch input, which allows us to change between 4 different sounds. These 4 different sounds are accessible by a stereo cable, and that is typically done with this with the foot switch like this. So there's a stereo cable comes in, and then this closes and open one of the stereo, like the left side, and the other one the right side. Okay, so in an analog solution like this, we would access, for example, so the 4 sounds of the Katana is between 2 banks, and then each bank has 2 channels in it. So this would switch between bank A and B, and then this would switch inside bank B, would switch between channel 1 and 2. Okay, so to be able to access all the 4 sounds, you will have sometimes to press 2 times depending to where you want to jump to. So I first did this foot switch because I had all the materials, and this just allows to change between those in an analog way. If I could, okay, cannot. Yeah, it's just typical guitar foot switch with little pretty things on top that give it a little bit of a bigger surface to tap on. So this is the typical foot switch, and it's also the one that Boss sells, which is the FS6 or something like that, which, yeah, which you can get, but does the same thing, has the same thing. So what I wanted was actually a foot switch with 4 buttons, so I can access those 4 sounds independently. So when I press button 1, it would immediately go to bank A channel 1. When I access 2, will go to bank A channel B. The third would go, etc., etc., bank B channel A, etc., etc. So the only way apparently to do that is with some kind of micro controller. So this is a working prototype. So I'm using that stereo cable, which is coming out of the Katana. Typically goes into the foot switch down there. Here I'm just connecting it in a manual way with these things, just to get it working with this system. So it's actually very simple. This is not needed even. This is an Arduino Uno. This is 2 relays. So relays are switches in a way that can be triggered electronically. So I can send a signal from Arduino, and that can switch 2 of these switches at the same time. So if you see down there in the pedal, I have 2 buttons, right? So this is the same deal. This is actually like button 1 and button 2. So the idea with the Arduino is that I can send one signal coming from a separate switch, and this can press 2 of the buttons at the same time. And we need to get, I have to get, the cat wants to get out. So I can essentially do here all the combinations, just sending one signal, and then I can do switch this, then switch, then do all the 4 combinations. So I won't explain all the details here, but I will show you working. I will show it working. So here in the computer I have the Boss Katana. It's actually the software which allows to control the amplifier, but it also lets you see all the channels selected. So here on this side, this is bank A channel 1, bank A channel 2, blah, 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 blah. So this is something we cannot access from the foot pedal, but all of these are the ones we want to switch. So I will show you for now what is the Arduino sketch, they call it, and very, very simple. So essentially it's just pressing 2 buttons at the same time, and here it says stay low, so the signal is just saying for the 2 relays kind of to be turned off. So this goes to bank A channel 1, etc, etc, etc. So just switching between those four. This program, it's very simple. It's just waiting. It's just triggering each of those and then waiting 3 seconds. Then triggers the next, then 3 seconds. So this is not the final project. It's just to see if it was possible to do or not. And yeah, so let's make that. Let's compile that and send it to the Arduino. As you can hear, there's already some things going on here. So that program uploaded the computer to the Arduino. The Arduino is just set on a loop, which says, the loop says, run all the 4 combinations. And it switches between those 2 relays. Those 2 relays then send the signal to the Katana footswitch input. So let's see how that works now. So let me open here. So this is the software which reflects what is being changed on the Katana channels. So as you go, as you see, this one, this one, this one. So it works. Essentially, this means that from this, I can now put it inside a foot switch or a box that goes on the floor that has 4 foot switches, and then I will use again the software to read what foot switch has been pressed, and then send that signal out to the relays, and that then goes out into the foot switch input. So great success for now. Prototype is good.